Welcome! We have officially announced that Marti Cifuentes has joined Leicester City. It's took about, 2 months late, but we officially finally done it. As you can see, the club have announced that Leicester City have got a new manager in Martin Cifuentes. Put your comments, put your views in. We'll get straight into it. But yes, we've just finally got a new manager. Let's go! So yes, Leicester City have got a new manager. Get your views and comments in. I will put the link in the chat for anybody who wants to join and go tell me their thoughts. Again, there was a lot of rumours, a lot of comments about what managers it was going to be. Will it be O'Neill? Not O'Neill. Yeah, it is O'Neill. Yeah, we got I can't think of his name now. Chris Wilder. You've got Sean Dyche. You had Danny Roll. All of these were linked, and we officially now have got Marti Cifuentes. I'll get a few comments up just to see what people are saying. Manager and manager and Shaw on the same day. Sure, I'm guessing. Yep. Hopefully, you never know. Mid-table, here we come. Come on, we can't be saying it already the moment he comes in. We've got to back him. Jordan says, not 100% sure on this manager. Wasted Dyche personally. Wanted Dyche personally. Yeah, again, it's going to be a very, very topical thing now. We've got him in. I don't know whether a certain manager would have been better. I don't think there was a perfect manager, to be honest. I don't think there was a perfect manager for the job, because so many fans would have wanted one manager, so many fans would have wanted another manager. I don't think there was a manager that everyone would have been happy with at all. For me, I'm happy, very happy about Marti Cifuentes. I think he'll play the way I want him to, which I know is not the be all and end all. I want him to make sure we get up in the into the Premier League again, and whatever way that is, fair enough. But from what I've heard of and what I've seen, I'm more than happy with it over like a Sean Dyche. But I know a lot of fans would have probably wanted a Sean Dyche over this. We'll get Nick in just 2 seconds. I'll just see what else people are saying. Adam says about time. Yes. Again, get your views and comments. If you want to join, please do, and we'll get your views on as well. Simon Scott says, couldn't even beat us. Couldn't even beat us last time. Why would you want him? All I'll say is in the championship, we lost to them. When we were in the championship, we lost to them. I know we beat them 6-2 when it came to the cup this year, but yeah, we lost to them in the year we came up from the championship. So, and Leeds lost to them 4-0. I think was the when we got promoted in the championship, and QPR did beat Leeds 4-0 that day as well. So I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying that he's the messiah for Leicester City. I'm just saying that there's good stuff to see of him and bad stuff as well if you want to look at his past career and whatnot. But we'll get Nick in now and see what his views are. Nick, how are we doing, mate?
Hello, bud. You all right?
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally happened. We heard about the visa stuff, so I'm guessing that's sorted now. But what's your kind of initial thoughts on this? Now we kind of know it is Marti Cifuentes.
It's better late than never, isn't it? Let's be fair.
It is, yeah.
As I think as the comments have said, shirts and the manager all in the same day. The press office must be knackered.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Adam here says aggressive attacking shows intent. Again, I won't say it's going to be aggressively attacking. I think it's different in a way of, I don't think it's as like stubborn as what Enzo is. I'll say that. I don't think it's as like pinpoint, you've got to do this or it's not going to work. I think he will be adaptive, but
Mm.
I think
We-
there's
we-
ways where
We're
you
just gonna have to see, ain't we?
yes,
It's we can judge him by his QPR record, but QPR's team's a lot weaker than ours, isn't it? Let's be fair.
it
So
is.
we'll just see how it goes. We've got to give him whatever happens. We've got to give him 10 games before you can make a
Yes.
judgment, because that's when you really know whereabouts you're going to be.
I
So
think this is where as well a lot of fans have been looking at his past record and think, what did he do at QPR? What did he do at all these other clubs? But The difference was, like you said, QPR didn't have a good team, as in didn't have a team that's good enough to get up in the Premier League, up into the Premier League. So why would even if Pep Guardiola went in there, he wouldn't do much about it. Like you just it's what's in your disposal to go with. So for
Yeah,
me, when you've got the likes of Monga, Mavadidi, Fatawu, hopefully a better striker if we do sell someone, and El Canoes maybe if he doesn't go anywhere. For me, that alone for Marti's artillery for me would be absolutely crazy good.
yeah. I mean, like you say, you've got with what we've got at the minute. There's a core there of certainly of young talent that
Mm.
I'm sure he's going to be relishing. One thing I will say that's a positive about him is the only one or the only manager I can know of in history that's agreed to pay half the compensation. That shows intent that he wants to be here. So that's not a bad thing. You know, if he wants the job out, he wants to pay half of the compensation. Granted,
I
he's
think
probably going to be making money if he gets
I was
sacked
gonna
either
say, I
way.
was gonna
So,
say, I was
but
gonna
even
say that
so,
a lot of fans have looked at him and thought, well, he's gonna get paid 3 or 4 million anyway
yeah,
from
but
us.
Roll didn't do it, did he? Roll didn't
No, he
bother to pay
didn't.
half
No,
his compens, his buyout thing to get him out of Sheffield Wednesday.
no,
So,
you are right. You are right, mate. But just to recap to everyone, yes, it is finally happened and it is announced that Martin Cifuentes has been appointed as Leicester City manager. Um, Again, good news. Eventually, he has come in just before we've gone to Austria. I think they are going on Wednesday, tomorrow. So hopefully he can get his tactics sorted now and go into it, and then we'll see really what we have got to offer when it comes to that Fiorentina game now. Because for me, the Austrian games aren't that for me that important. It's more about getting that tactical setup and that way of playing in ready for the new season now.
I think Kingy's done a good job in regards
Yes.
to Peterborough and Leuven. He's got the minutes in the legs. He's got them fit. So now what Marty can do is he can sort of work on shape and tactics while they're out in Australia. I nearly said Australia then, in Austria. Um,
Yeah.
and like I say, you come Fiorentina, which I think is 2 weeks on Sunday.
Yeah.
It, it will, we'll all, if everybody's going, we'll all have a vague idea of the way we're possibly going to play. So it may be a good idea to get you 20 quid tickets because
Mm.
you
No,
might be
it's
able to
true.
see what's going on.
Yep, true. I'll bring Jono in. He obviously went live earlier for the new shirts, but again, we got everything today, Jono, haven't we? We've got all the news
Breaking.
we've wanted all in one game, all in one day. Sorry, not in one game, all
Yeah,
in one day. What's your views?
my views. I'm actually really happy. When we first sacked Rude, we all thought it was between Dyche and I forgot who else it was between, but we all thought it was Dyche was most likely going to be the option. Then Wilder came out of
Wilder.
absolutely nowhere, and then I was thinking, where's this club going? And then out of the blue, Marti became an option, and then everyone was like, who is he? We smacked QPR. But when you actually delve into him a little bit more, he's actually a perfect fit in
Hmm.
terms of what this club needs right now.
I
It
wouldn't
needs
say it's
someone different.
sorry to put
No,
in.
he's not perfect.
I wouldn't say it's what we need. I think it what suits the club from the last couple of years. And I know people are saying the passing style and all that hasn't worked in the long run because we've got 2 relegations from it. But I think what the club wants to progress still going on. They want to try and do this progressive style of football
Well,
and try and make it work and keep us in the Premier League, and then we can go from there onwards. And I
well, I
think
got a
that's what we've
quote
tried with
from
Enzo. I think that's what we did try with Enzo when it first happened, but
there's
obviously
a quote
it wasn't
from the
great.
owner that he's just stated saying Marty's an excellent fit for a football club. His personal and coaching qualities will be vital to building an identity for our fans.
Hmm.
We'll be able to see reflected in our team on the pitch. And basically, he's the manager and the owner want to create a new identity for the club. I think they're shifting away from this passive football we've seen from Enzo. We kind of saw from Rudy, which was surprising. So I'm happy to see that we're going to go in a new direction, which is attacking football, which is what we've used to
Hmm.
see under Brendan Rodgers and beforehand. So I'm really happy. And what's really good is he's very good with youngsters. He's very good with recruiting and building a young team, which is what we need. You know, we can't spend much money. It looks like we're going to sell some key players. Like El Kanous is very heavily linked with Sunderland, and Mads is off as well for 15, 20 million. But no, I'm very happy with the appointment. He's also experienced. Ruud wasn't experienced. He is with a team that isn't as good as our team. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Yeah, obviously, Nick. I think Top was saying as well. I think even the journalist was saying as well that Leicester have been looking at this guy for a couple of months or even like years. I'm not sure how true that is, but again, this guy wasn't linked at all in any way when Ruud was sacked. There was no like link to him, so they must have had some sort of like interest in him at some point because he wasn't even in the picture of the obviously like all the odds and stuff. So he just came out of the blue like Enzo did in a way. I know Enzo was in the running when it came to it, but
I don't know, mate. A lot of it for me is. I don't think they had a clue who Cifuentes was, let alone, you know what I mean? Come off of it. I think they got lucky with Enzo, and we don't know what Cifuentes is going to bring. Really, I know he's got youth. I know he's got a history of playing with youth. Fine, fair dues.
yeah.
But we are still lumbered with these so-called superstars that, you know, like your Wout Fasses, your Sumares, your Dakas, your Kova Reeds, your Ayus. I don't need to keep going on, do I? When you understand where I'm going.
Mhm.
They're going to want to play.
Yeah.
If they're still here, they are going to want to play.
No, I
You know,
agree.
Oliver Skip, Winks, etc. And Diddy, if he goes, I know there's rumours of him going. Well, where's the money for it then?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and and if it does happen, I'm sorry to put in, mate.
It's all right.
It's gonna be incredibly difficult to put all your hopes up on a Jeremy Mongot or a Jake Evans and stuff like that at 16 years old and expect them to swim in the championship.
Well, since obviously Monga had that game against Leuven and Peterborough, that I've seen so many like TikToks or videos just in general of saying, "Oh, Leicester's attack is going to be absolutely insane this season."
No,
Because
it's not.
I'm not saying that Monga
I
should
know
be
you're
starting
not
every
saying,
game.
but the people
I'm
who put that,
he
it's
like I said yesterday, it's one where Fatu starts and he comes on for the 60th, 70th minute
100%.
and
He's got
really impact the
experience in the
game.
championship.
Or either or, if Monk has an outstanding game for the last 20-30 minutes of the last game, you maybe do start him, see how he goes, and then you bring the likes of Fatu. Well, that's how, for me, how insane our wingers options are now, in the fact of if Fatu isn't producing what we know he can, you know he can bring a Monga on and hopefully do something just as good anyway.
Oh,
Could we pick up Dave's comment saying like, why can't
Go on.
Cifuentes accept that he's our manager, now get behind the team and stop moaning? All I'm
hang on a
seeing is
second,
people.
Dave. I said to Reedy before you
No,
came
people
on,
in the
John,
chat.
you've got to give him 10 games before you do it.
It's people in the chat moaning that he's not experienced or he's.
God.
But like I said at the start of the show, Jono, that a lot of fans, there was no manager that was going to be perfect for every fan. No, not one
No.
manager. Even if we
brought
got
Wilder in, everyone will be moaning forever, saying why do we get Wilder in? So everyone's
this
saying
is
like,
the thing. No one's going to be happy with whatever manager it
No.
was. So now we've got to just back them, whoever it is. Again, I wasn't too sure on Enzo when he first came in because I didn't enjoy the passing football back then. Like, he's the reason why I like it now. But when it first happened, I was like, really? Someone who's only managed 14 games for Parma?
Look at
But
Ranieri.
you've
Look
got
at
to see how
Ranieri
it
when he
goes.
came in. Look at Ranieri. No one would have wanted Ranieri to come in. Who's he? He's the guy who's always makes changes. He's the tinker man. You know, Chelsea reject.
Yeah.
He won us the Premier League.
No,
So
I agree.
I remember when
you've got to
Pearson
give him a
came in League
chance.
One.
You've got to give him a
When Pearson
chance.
came in League One, people were moaning about him coming in.
Yeah. Jono, did you see on the thing about how long he's been given us contract?
It just states that he's our manager, but it doesn't say how long he's our manager for.
I'm not shocked. They probably gave him like a 5-year deal.
No, 3 years. No, three. It did say
3
3-year
years.
contract. 3-year
Okay.
contract.
3 years. Okay, that's
3-year
not
contract.
awful. Again, I think that's just a normal kind of basic one, isn't it? They're not going to give him just a 1 year. They're going to give him a couple of
As
years.
long as he's not got a 10 million release clause like Rogers had, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Cifuentes won't last until Christmas.
He might
Okay.
not. He might not, but you can't say he's going to be crap before he
No,
even.
you can't. No.
We can't even see him have his. He's been in the job for 3 hours, half an
Yeah.
hour. You know what I mean?
I think
No,
one
I
thing you
agree.
could say we could all agree on though is as long as we keep Kingy as
Yes.
part of his coaching
King-
stuff, because I think he will
Kingy has
be
to be in there.
100%, because he will. What Kingy's done with these players in these last few weeks, taking the pre-season, he can. He's that sort of middleman in between the new manager and the players, because I think the players they clearly respect Kingy for what he's done for the club. So I
Yeah,
think he
I
would
agree.
be perfect as that middleman, that go between, and I think it would stop the the knives coming out earlier in the camp.
Yeah, Andy down in here says give him a chance, see what happens. Again, this is what you have to do now. Like, even if I wasn't a big fan of Sean Dyche if he came in, I would have still had to have seen how it goes because I might have been proven wrong. Like, you've got to now give it a chance, even though I didn't want the other managers. Like now, even if after 10 games and Cifuentes is doing absolutely woeful, I will like still judge him. I'm not going to be like, oh, just give him more of a chance. You've just got to see how it goes. Jules Bignall says Leicester fans being entitled because I'm guessing of what we've won before.
I ain't entitled at all. I've seen the good and the crap.
Aggie says all these fans need to start backing him as the same fans who wanted Cooper at the end of the day. Again, it's not all about who spotted who or who wanted who out. I think now we've got a manager in. I think this is what we've been asking for. We've been asking for a manager. We finally got one in, and it feels like all we're getting is moans about now. It's not why is it this guy? I think you've got what you needed.
We're not
So
going to get Pep Guardiola. I'm sorry, we're not going to get Pep. We've got to get a
Don't want
manager.
Pep anyway.
No, but what I mean is, though, you've got.
that'd be even worse.
I hate his football. Can't stand it.
We're going to get a manager who have attacking football. We're going to have exciting football next year.
We need an identity, is what we need. That was what was severely lacking under Cooper and Rude.
If we play passive football, it's down to the board and the owners, and they need to go away. If he diverts into that style of football, that's the board's problem because Marti plays attacking football. So we have to wait and see.
Derek says it's our first Spanish manager. Can we expect any Spanish signings?
No, because we're not going to sign anyone. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
You never know. You might bring an Iosi Perez back.
You
No
mean
chance.
Yamal's been spotted and Morrison's doing his weekly
Yeah.
shot, ready to go?
Do you mean we've got the English Yamal, haven't we?
Huh?
You've got the English Yamal.
What Bonga?
Who, that
Every
guy?
Monga.
Oh God!
People have been calling him that again since
No
these
pressure
pre-season
there.
games. I know, right? So I think someone said here about Dak because it's going to bang this season, but I'm not going to bring that up.
Well,
What, his head?
Andy says we need to sort out not that one. It says Andy said we're not the club anymore that can attract a top class manager. We're in the championship. What top class manager is going to come to the championship?
Yeah, we're never going to expect to have like a Premier League manager come in. We've got to look for somebody who now what okay, I'll ask you this before I actually say what I need. What is our aim this season? Getting up, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah. Or
And then what is the
getting
aim?
to the playoffs?
Yes, and what is the aim?
Playoffs.
Yeah, as long as we try and get somewhere to be getting promoted. But then what's the progression for next season? Staying up.
I'll get a point deduction.
Well, yeah, but for us, it's literally the 2 years of getting up and then staying up, because then you can start progressing.
Are we in that same position? Let's play devil's advocate and say we do get up like we did last time when we go up quite comfortably, and we stick with Cifuentes, and it's like an Enzo Ball system with the same sort of players we've got. For me, I don't think that keeps us up in the Premier League.
And I will say this, and it's only because I feel like this is maybe a bit of a reason why we didn't do as well last season. And I'll say, I think the progression we had with Enzo in the season in the Championship and how well we played, to then switch it up with a Cooper sort of. I'm not blaming Cooper. I'm just saying the managerial styles. I think really maybe hindered our progression and momentum out of the Championship into the new season. So maybe if you do have a full good season with Marti and you do get promoted and you keep him, that progression of how you play and all that stuff, I think maybe could kind of get you more wins and more performances out. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe that's where it really hit us hard when we lost Enzo, because we didn't have that progression and the momentum of what we had from the season before.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's just down to the Cooper appointment. I'm just saying that I think that's where, if you do get promoted this season with Marti, if that's the case, then maybe you have to try and keep him and try and follow it up, or you, like you said, get rid of him and then get a Sean Dyche or someone like that in to make sure you stay up. I don't know, but right now we have chosen Martin Cifuentes. So
We'll just
Do you
at the end
think-
of the day, we just got to back them, haven't we? And just let's hope something sticks and we see some sort of progression. That's all we can hope for as fans, really.
no, I agree. Garage says the first to stay up is the first thing. Yeah, exactly. Stay up, no, to get
Well,
up.
no, we have got 12. Read it. We've got
No,
potential
you are
12-point
right. You are
deduction
right.
hanging over our
This is
heads.
going to be
You
this is
are
a
right.
transition season. This is a transition season.
No, you are right.
We've
Because
got to get rid of all the
realistically,
deadwood.
I mean, would
if
you
you
two, if we say, for example, right, we get to the playoffs, even if we get knocked out in the semis, would you say it's a successful season? I
if
would.
we
I
if we
would.
got 12 points, yes. As in, if we got 12-point deduction and we got to the playoffs and we
We are
lost,
going to
yeah.
get a point deduction.
No, I'm
Oh,
not. I'm
fair
not.
enough.
No,
Get one.
I'm saying it. I'm saying if it's 12, I'm saying if it's less, then I'd say you've got more of a chance you can get him. You should be getting promoted. But if you get 12 points and you're on a minus 12 to begin with,
I'm
then
gonna
I think it's
shoot.
gonna be odd. Yes, no worries, mate. Cheers for
I was
joining.
gonna
Cheers for
say,
joining your pause.
really buzzing at his ear, so let's all back him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
See you later, guys.
See you later, bud.
Just took me out. Yeah, like I was saying, that again, you've just gotta believe in it now, ain't you? Again, the 12-point deduction, it could be less, could be more, I don't know. But like you said, if you gave him 10 games and you had a 12-point deduction to begin with, you might be on 0 by the time he gets to 10 games. Because you've only won 5 games. So it could be hard. It could be hard.
It is going to be tricky, mate. It is going to be tricky. I
But
think
that's why you have
anybody who
to have
thinks it's going to be
a
a
running
walkover
start.
is kidding themselves. So
No, I agree, yeah. Rob Dorset apparently just said on Sky it's going to be a 9-point deduction, but you never know. It's like anything less than 12 is a positive now, because
it
we
is,
know we're
but
going to get it. But
if you go out expecting the worst, anything less is a bonus, and that's the
yes,
way
of
to look at
course.
it. If we all keep thinking it's going to be 12 and it's not, we've kind of had a
Mm.
win. I fully expect the EFL to whack the maximum honours because, let's be fair, we made them look like mugs last season, didn't we, when we were in the Premier
Yeah,
League?
I agree. Yeah. Ben Morgan says we'll end up selling Bilal and bringing Chair. Do you know what? I was calling for Chair last season before El Canous came in, so I know it's probably nowhere near the level, but in the Championship, he's shown he can do it in the Championship. So
Maybe this is another good thing to get excited about, where we might start seeing outgoings and ingoings. Incomings,
yes,
you know.
like we said yesterday, we wouldn't have been able to get rid of anyone or bring anyone in until the managers assess the players.
Exactly.
He needs to know what he's got in his disposal to
Mhm.
then go. I don't want you in my setup. I want you in my setup. And like I said, Bilal was linked with Sunderland today. For me, and I know it's probably a very weird thing to say. Sunderland for me is probably near the same level as at the moment, because I know they're in the Premier League. But out of the 3 teams that have gone up, I've got more. I think I've got every chance in saying that Sunderland's probably coming down.
I wouldn't be at all surprised, you know, with Sunderland. I think they're dark horses to stay.
You never
I
know.
really
Never know.
do. You know, let's be fair. Up in the northeast, it's not just football. Football's a religion up
No,
there.
yeah, I get you.
They're a special breed up in that cold area of the country. So we shall see. But I fully expect them to do quite well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alex has a massive message here. Says, "I love that we have a manager who will nurture or develop our young academy players. It's as well. It's all well and good having a manager who can build a project for the future. However, football is a results-based game. Results-based business, and players expect results faster than a project to be completed in. If you don't get results, the manager gets sacked." Which, again, right now, unfortunately, is kind of where we're at. We can't really in a position we're in, our only aim is really to get. I know it's to stay up firstly, but to get up is the only aim. And if you're not getting in a position where you should be or you want to be after 10 to 20 games, for me, you probably have to make a change again, because you can't kind of. I don't know, because if you don't change it and you stay in the championship, you could be in the championship for 2-3+ years. Like for me, it's about making sure if it's not working, you make it a change and hopefully it works. Because right now we're in a position where you've got to get up.
I don't know. It's a very fine line there, Reader. But I mean, look at last season, for example. You know, the irony is, I think we can all pretty much agree. While he was divisive in Steve Cooper, I think you could argue we were playing better under Cooper than what we were under Root. And the irony is, I reckon he would have kept us up if we'd stuck with him. So sometimes changing a manager doesn't necessarily, you don't normally it doesn't always mean you get that bounce that happens.
I wouldn't say bounce, but I think because of
Well, I'm not saying what I'm saying is like Wolves, for example, before they changed, they were gone.
yes,
And then they brought in that manager, and then they all of a sudden they got the bounce and got out of it, didn't they? So, it doesn't necessarily mean it's always a good thing after 10, sack him after 10, 15 games. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to
I
stick
agree.
with it.
Yeah, I'll bring this last comment up from Jason before we finish. Jason says, when Enzo joined us, none of us thought he would get us back up. Let us back the manager. We may be surprised. We may need someone who can bring in the players. Some of the managers who we're linked with would never bring anyone in. Let's back him. Again, I agree.
100%.
You can't. As much as I know, I would have probably been annoyed if it was Sean Dyche who came in. I wouldn't have not. I would have not gone to the games. I would have gone to the games and seen how it was. I would have gone to the game and seen how it played and whatnot. If I didn't enjoy it, I would say it. But right now, I'm happy in the position we're in and the manager we have brought in. We might go to the first game of the season and we lose against Sheffield Wednesday, who are probably at the moment are probably in a worse position than us. But
they are. They're massively worse.
do you know what I mean?
As well.
This is where if we lose to Sheffield Wednesday, a lot of the fan base will all be getting onto Cifuentes' back because of like how can you lose to them and whatnot. But
I think he's potentially a bit like Sheffield Wednesday in some regards. He can only play the deck he's dealt with, and he's got certain amount of players.
I think he's got a lot better deck than he has ever had.
And he's not got a lot of money to spend. He has been told if he wants to bring players in, he's got to sell players.
And this is his chance now. He's in.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to do some wheeling and dealing, and hopefully Rudkin doesn't balls up the contracts like he normally does.
No, I agree. There you go, guys. Obviously, we said we'd go live when it gets announced, but as you can see there, Marti Cifuentes has been appointed as Leicester City manager. Finally, it's took probably about 2 or 3 weeks too late than we probably expected it to. But hey, Nick,
Get working on the chant.
Yes.
Comments. Get working on the chant.
Yes, he likes Estrella. He eats paella. There you go. Martin Cifuente. sorted. There you go. Cheers, Nick, for joining.
Unless you recycle Iboria's chant. He came from sunny Spain to live on Saffron Lane. You could do that, I suppose.
Yeah, you could. Martin Cifuentes. Yeah, could do. Nick, appreciate you joining. Cheers for your views, and we'll catch you hopefully in the next show. See you in a bit.
There you go, kid. Bye.
There you go, guys. Another show completed. A big one completed. Martin Cifuentes is manager of Leicester City. Finally, we've got the man. New show hopefully coming soon. I don't know. We've seen leaks of it today. It's not actually been officially announced, but you could see him holding a shirt up at some point today. You don't know. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your views. Sorry I didn't get everyone's views in, but I appreciate you all coming in and giving me your comments as much as you could. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you all on the next show. See you in a bit, guys.